Oops, I did it again. Oops, and I did it again. Alright, well, maybe I got myself into a little bit of trouble, but we'll see how it goes here over the next few months. But I did purchase two vehicles today. A 1996 Land Rover, even has the brush guard on the front, brand new tires, and 156,000 miles. I don't know a lot about it except what the guy told me, and they said the motor still ran. It may have a soft plug issue, and it needs a few things, and we're going to be looking at this here in a little bit on a separate video, and I'll go over it and show you this Land Rover, and anybody else that has a Land Rover like this. Maybe we can all kind of get together and share tips and some ideas. And the second vehicle I got is this 2003 Ford Explorer, the V8 4.6, 156,000 miles. Both vehicles, believe it or not, I purchased them for less than $1,000. Yeah. Sometimes you can get some really good deals if you know how to work on vehicles. Right now the vehicle is running. It's got some minor things wrong with it. Now I do know there is a little bit of noise on this side. The flex plate, I do believe, on the torque converter is making a little bit of rattling noise. And let me put the camera down here and let you listen for a minute. You can hear it. Sounds like a marble. And that is pretty typical. It'll either be the torque converter or a cracked flywheel, but I pretty much think it is a flywheel issue because the marbles in the torque converter sound is usually a different sound. I'm pretty experienced with that, and I do know those two sounds, and I can pretty much distinguish the two. So it's running, got the headlights on, and here's a look at the engine. Now I do think that it has a plugged up catalytic converter on this side because I can give it plenty of gas, mash down on the throttle. It has absolutely no power, and if you listen closely on this side, you can hear a hiss. You can hear some of the exhaust trying to back out around the manifold down here, and if I put my camera down here, you might be able to hear it hissing. I think you can hear that fairly well, especially when the engine idles up a little higher. And let's go look inside. Oh, by the way, the beauty here is, the thing I really like, it's got the factory fog lights. Check that out. Those are really nice. And the other option I really like, as we go inside here, we'll kind of look at things here real quick. The interior is in really good shape except the small tear there. There's the back. And here is the cooling system. It's got the digital cooling system and all that. I got it shut off right now, just kind of keep the battery charged up. We'll let it run a little bit. And it's got 149,000. I don't remember how to reset this, but it's all digital. The other thing I really like about this, it has the automatic auto forward drive, high and low. A lot of these vehicles, especially the Mountaineers, they have a viscous coupling, and you have no control over this. And when that viscous coupling goes bad, it burns up, and you're in four-wheel drive all the time. You're in four-wheel drive all the time, I should say, and it's a big problem. It'll eat your tires up, and you'll have to pull the transfer case out and basically get another one. You can't rebuild them, but these you can pull them out, the transmissions, the transfer case I should say, and you can rebuild those. They're pretty easy to do because these are all electronics, just a clutch in that transfer case that engages and disengages versus that coupler I should say. It's a mess, but I will put a link at the bottom of the video on that coupler, viscous coupling that I was just explaining, so you'll have a better understanding of that. Other than that, it's got full power. I love that. Everything works. It's got the nice back hatch. There's the back seats in really good shape. It really doesn't have a lot of rust. It has a little rust around the rocker panels in the back. These are all famous for that. This one's not that bad. I've had a lot worse. And there's the interior. Little TP there. I don't know what that's for. And there's the back. But the interior is in really good shape. And I got this piece in the back seat there. It's kind of sitting over there. It fell out. And I'm going to see if I can open the back hatch up. If you want to get ahead in life, this is what you got to do. especially if you're starting out your first vehicle. Get out and get you a used vehicle, put a little money into it, save your money. Of course, I do this, you know, for a hobby and a serious living. And there's the back. It's pretty good shape. Nice little cover here, and it's got the cover there. And I got this too, which is pretty nice. I'll deal with that later, but I'm pretty happy to see everything here. It looks pretty clean, and I got pretty much big plans for it. Now you can hear that rattle. Hear it? That is the flywheel rattling, so I'm going to have to deal with that a little bit later. So having said that, there's another look at the front of it, and there is the side. Body's in excellent shape. I'm going to take these running boards off and do some work underneath. I couldn't find any oil leaks, but the two issues with this is, like I said, plugged up catalytic converter, and that rattling you hear right now, that is more likely a flywheel that's cracked. And I'll be doing some work and posting lots of videos on this particular vehicle and that vehicle over there, the Land Rover. So here's another look at the back. So, and it's even got a full-size tow hitch, which is nice. And whoever had it before let the muffler get hot, bent the tailpipe, and you know, people, if you just take care of your cars and do general maintenance, they'll last you longer than you think, and you'll become bored with them. You can still trade them off. And while they're still running, but people, a lot of people don't care about vehicles. They just run them until they're trashed, and they get rid of them, and they complain a lot. And it's also got a nice pin there, and underneath there's a spare. Frame's in really good shape. So like I said, for both vehicles, I've got less than $1,000 in them, and by the time I get this one fixed up and the other, this guy over here, they're going to be well worth over $2,000, and these here are becoming collector's items. A lot of people like these. So that's the end of this video here for the Ford Explorer, and I'll end this video, and I'll put a link at the bottom at this video for the Range Rover there. Actually, is it a Land or Range Rover? I forget which one it is. It is a Land Rover. There we go. What's left of the green there. The body's in great shape, which is kind of nice. I'll do a tour here in a few minutes on that, and I'll put a link at the bottom. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to put two links or cards on this video for this and that, but I'll definitely put one for this, and I may go ahead and put a different video title up for the Land Rover. So it's going to have new brakes, new tires on it, and we'll go all over it real good. It's going to be a nice vehicle, especially here in a few months, 4 or 5 months when winter will be here. This is going to be really nice to drive. So let's go ahead and look at the Land Rover now, and I'll go ahead and put a link at the bottom of the video.